Alright guys, into the final game of the Tin Soldiers 4 tournament. This tournament had a very interesting twist and very different from all of the other tournaments I played because if you end the tournament after game 5 within the top 4 on battle points, it means you're put into a separate Masters round where the first and second person on battle points play against each other, and same with the third and fourth players for third and fourth place. If you are fifth in terms of the points scored over 5 games, that means you can't, get a big win in your last game and overtake the other guys who are in the top 4 positions to win the tournament. You are, at best going to get 5th place. Now, it was announced who the top places would be in the after the 5th game, and the guy that beat me in game 4, the Demons player, was going to be playing up against the previous winner of the last year's tournament, Harry Dixon, who had his Tomb Kings again in 8th edition, who also won last year, and they'll be playing off for 1st and 2nd place. And 3rd and 4th place was a High Elf versus Wood Elf game, surprisingly, between 2 dragons, 2 guys who'd done extremely well to get to that point. I was in 5th place, so how about that? I'd done very well, and I just missed out on getting the 4th spot. Maybe I would have done that if I'd played better in game 4, or had better luck in game 3. But instead, I'm up against James and his Dark Elves. I would rate James's Dark Elf list as the hardest list at this event. He was the guy that I least wanted to play, and in fact, I'm feeling particularly vindictive, so if I play another Warhammer tournament again this year, possibly GuardCon in the next few months, I'm going to take the sickest, nastiest, cruelest Dark Elf army I possibly can, because these guys, it's just unfair. He's got the Executioners, he's got the Corsairs with, level 4 of Shadows, he's got units of 9 Shades, Cauldron, Hydra, and lots of crossbows. So I've deployed right in the middle. It's the plain old battle line. The plan here is for me to feed him my Marauders first. Hopefully I'll get lots of strike backs to wear his big blocks down before I attack them with the Chosen and finish them off. In the meantime, the Dragon's going to be dancing around, deliberately shooting everything that can, breath weapon, gateway, flicking fire against the Shades to kill them. Next image, first unit of Shades down on my left side up against the Knights and the Marauders. Next image, the other unit of Shades down up against my other Marauders on the left flank. He has 2 Assassins, and they both have Man-Bane and Renning Stars, great for this tournament. So I've got to be careful with the Dragon too, in case he gets charged by an Assassin with all of that, goodness onto the Dragon, for example. Next image, I've used my Vanguard movement to pull back behind the hill because in tournaments in our country we basically play that true line of sight doesn't apply to the hills. We play them more like 7th edition, with the exception of large targets like the Hydra and the Dragon, which can be seen as per true line of sight, but in this case he can't move his Shades forward and fire over the hill at the Marauders, so that's why I've pulled them back. Next image, he's got the first turn here. He's moved around with his Shades and up with his Corsairs and Hydra, ready to get into position to attack me later on. Next image after that, on the other side, he's moved around with his Shades, ready to shoot at the Marauder Cav, which I've basically moved in front of the Knights so the Knights don't get shot straight away. I'm going to lose the Marauder Cav unit no matter what, so really I'm just hoping to get off as well as I can. Next image, my following turn, moving out with the Marauder Cav and the Dragon. I've positioned him in such a way that if he charges the Shades into the Marauder Cav and destroy them, overrun into the Dragon, and then pop the Assassin, by then it will be my turn, and before that round of combat is resolved, I can actually swing around with my Marauder bus and challenge the Assassin out. So that's going to be the plan there. And I'm moving up my Warshrine because that's going to be quite critical in redirecting the frenzied Corsairs and hopefully putting them into an overrun position where I can flank them. Next image. Due to some obscenely good luck, I've actually survived a round of shooting from the Shades going in against the Marauder Cav with 4 survivors. So what I've done is I've put the pressure on. I've moved up with my Knights and with my Marauders, so he's going to have to shoot everything at the Knights. And if he doesn't get a lot of wounds, I'm just going to start charging stuff. So this will actually take a lot of pressure off the rest of my army, which I'm more worried about. I mean, I know that he's going to get points for my Knights and the Marauders at the end of the game, so I'm prepared to put them in positions which will save points elsewhere. Next image, he pops both assassins on the shades on the right-hand side of the field, which interested me because it means the shades on the left-hand side of the field do not contain an assassin, which makes my boss a lot safer on the dragon. But with Rending Stars and Killing Blow on this unit in case I charge him from the Cauldron, I'm going to be losing a lot of knights. Next image, his Hydra moving here behind the forest, and his shades pulling back. I've cast Gateway on them to reduce them to 3 members, so if I can get the points to them as well, that will actually help in the long term. My dragon's taken a single wound from either shooting or a miscast, I can't quite remember. Next image, my dragon lands behind his dragon, and as you can see we're placing a flame template to take out the shades. What happens here is I used a flickering fire, or might have been, no, I used a gateway on them, and I rolled a double 1 for the number of hits, only killed 2 shades, and then I basically had to waste the breath weapon on the last guy for a 3+ chance of getting him, and I did, so that polished off the entire unit of shades, which is 144 points to me. Obscenely low points value for a unit of shades. It's just disgusting how undercosted Dark Elf units are. It really is stupid, and everybody knows it. Next image, he's moved his Hydra over here onto the hill, but has decided not to use the flame breath weapon on the Marauders just yet. He's moved forward with his Corsairs though, because he's looking for action. Next image, having dealt with both my Knights and my Marauders on the left-hand flank with all of his shooting and the Rending Stars, he's moved forward with his Shades ready to start shooting whatever he can. And I'm really waiting for him to come to me because the longer this game goes, the less points I'm going to lose, essentially. It's going to be a hard matchup, by the way, but if he commits himself and is out of range of the Cauldron, I might have a great shot at actually killing these units here in the front. Next image, I've put my Marauder Cav in the way of his Hydra to prevent him from flank charging the Marauders in the front. I've failed a frenzy check from the Marauders here, so they have attempted to charge and failed, putting them forward, which is not what I wanted. The Dragon has moved within sight arc of both units, tries to use Flickering Fire and Gateway on the Dragon, but he uses a Scroll, and not really in a position to use the Breath Weapon just yet, although I was hoping to get a Breath Weapon on the Corsairs. That would have been something. Next image, I've also moved around here with my War Shrine to put him in a position where he can't engage the Marauders in one round of attacks. So if the Corsairs attack the War Shrine, kill it, and overrun into the Marauders, it will mean that will happen in my turn, and hopefully I can flank him with my other Marauder unit, unless of course he moves forward with his Executioners. Which of course he does. So in the next photo, his Executioners are right in front, so I can't counterflank him. I'll have to charge him if that happens. The Hydra has moved around past the Marauders cavalry to flame the infantry. Because his magic phases luck has been going a lot better than mine, I have not been able to get a successful gateway up on the Hydra before this happened, so it was a strength 5 hit on 20 Marauders, killing half of them. And the Corsairs into the War Shrine, which unbelievably manages to hold against all of those attacks, even with the Withering on him for -2 toughness. So a bit of a heroic attempt from the War Shrine there to stay in the game. He's managed it. Next image, the Shades and the Crossbowman unit move forward to put through a devastating volley of fire on the Dragon after the Withering took effect. And I've got to say it right now, his Sorceress got Irresistible Force 4 times this game, miscast all those 4 times, of course, rolled like a 6 on 3 of those times, so that's 3 strength 6 hits on his wizard, and he failed the last one, rolled a 1, so he didn't die to give me the 300 odd points, and he reduces my dragon to 2 wounds, so at this point I have to flee with the dragon rather than involving him in the game, so luck going my opponent's way, I've got to say. Next image, the War Shrine holding combat here, and he reforms into a block of 5, so what happens is I can charge past here and get my own Marauders in there to delay him for even longer. So next image, I've actually still got an intact unit of 4 Cav. These guys have survived because he's poured the rest of the shots into the Knights to kill them. So I've moved back around here because this means that if he continues to shoot at my dragon, I can rear charge him, but if he turns around to kill his Marauders, he gets 85 points, but that saves me a lot of headache elsewhere in the field. And next, the dragon moves back as far as it possibly can, out of threat range from the crossbows and the Shades, firing Flicking Fire and the Gateway at the Hydra. I managed to reduce it to 2 wounds, but still not killing it. So even if I kill it, it's only 175 points. Just cannot believe how cheap Dark Elf units are. It's just so unfair. Always happens. Next photo. The Marauders and the Shrine are still duking it out with the Corsairs, going several rounds of combat, and his Dark Elf Executioners moving in for combat. So if we go to the next image, he destroys half of my unit, and I destroy exactly the number of guys that I need to kill to reduce him to just one rank. So I still get the steadfast check, and I stick around, hopefully for another round of killing more Executioners. The next image, he's moving back around with the Shades to destroy the Marauder Cav, and he just marches forward with his repeated crossbows in the middle, and the Dark Elf Executioners still hacking away at the Marauders. Next image, they destroy the Marauders and pursue them into the Chosen. What happens here is that the Chosen attack back, win combat, demolish them, the BSB breaks, dies, he flees, I pick up the banner, but I don't run fast enough to catch the Executioners, so bit of bad luck there not catching up with them. On the other hand, if you go to the next photo, my War Shrine passes its break test with a double 1, so a bit of luck to compensate from that. My Marauder unit flees with one guy left, saving the 250 points. And we're actually forced to call it there. Our game took too long, so the TO came over and stopped us. Had he let us go for the last 1 or 2 turns of the game, I would have destroyed his Executioners, picking up those points. He would have destroyed my 250 block of Marauders and possibly killed the War Shrine as well, and I might have taken out his Hydra. So I feel that if the game had continued, it would have been a draw or possibly an 11-9 win to me, but because it didn't, he won 12-8, and I feel like I played very well this game. It really is down to the fact that he was luckier than me and had a harder army than me, better suited to a normal game. He didn't really play in the spirit of the tournament, which would have been to take a Dark Elf Dragon. He decided to go for a Hydra instead, which is what you normally take. So, there's one of those players at every tournament, and there happened to be this guy. I had to face him. I ended up ranking 9th out of however many guys there at the tournament, so a bit of a disappointing result given the fact that I had the tools to do it. But I still had a good time, and I hope you guys had a good time watching the battle reports. So, see you next time. Tune in later in the week for some battle reports on War Machine and Hordes, which is the game that I'm much more interested in playing at the moment. See you guys there.